Canary Capital has finally did it. The very first United States ETF has gone live today. Well, in a few hours, it's scheduled to go live at, I believe, 5:30 today, Eastern Standard Time. We still have a few hours to go, but this is great. This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. The very first one. Now, we know Rex Osprey, they had one as well, but that wasn't a fully 100% XRP. That one had less than 25% XRP in the bag and had other assets as well. This is the very first XRP Centric ETF ever. And I'm reminded just about, a couple years ago, like early 2024, after Bitcoin got approved, how we were in a land. Remember when the news came out with BlackRock, when they said, supposedly in an interview with Larry Fink at the Bitcoin conference, we don't have any plans for we don't see any XRP ETFs. We don't see any other ETFs, all that stuff. We're not going to use XRP. He came out and said that verbatim. And then all the fudsters just had so much fun with that. And I remember back in those days, all the comments where people said XRP will never have an ETF. And you had two types of parties. You had haters that didn't think XRP would amount to anything. Ripple is just, dumping coins, that camp. XRP is useless. Institutions will never use it. It'll never be an ETF. And then you had supporters of XRP who believed that an ETF would make XRP a security. And they didn't want an ETF either. They continue to say XRP will never have an ETF. Why would Ripple go through all this court nonsense just to make it a security and an ETF? That's nonsense. But people didn't understand. People don't understand. And so now here we are, all the dust has settled, and it is very clear that XRP with this ETF, this fund that is XRP centric, this fund proves that XRP has a real world place in institutional usage with the major hedge funds. Canary Capital was first. All the other ones, Wisdom Tree, Grayscale, Bitwise, 21 Shares. I can't name them all, right? But they're all coming down. This is a domino effect. Everything is going to be coming down the pike very, very soon. Now, to clear a couple things up about the ETFs and whether or not it makes it a security, just for your education, for anyone who is concerned about that. Because remember, people said that makes no sense, in all caps, cursing. It will make it a security. It's not going to happen, da-da-da-da-da. So here we are. We do have an ETF. So now what? Is XRP a security? No. What you have to understand, people, is XRP and the XRP ETF are two separate things. XRP itself is not a security. The XRP ETF is. It's a digital product. It's a security that mirrors an underlying asset. That underlying asset is XRP. So when the hedge fund investors buy ETFs, they're not buying XRP. They're buying a security that mirrors the actual XRP's performance. But this is why it's directly bullish for XRP, because the hedge funds must directly hold XRP 1-to-1 for every security ETF that they sell. So it's a direct 1-to-1 backing there. You have a security mirroring the price of an underlying asset, which gives them the price appreciation, even though they don't have to worry about setting up crypto wallets and all of those things and custody and all of that. Remember, this hedge fund flow is, for the most part, a lot of baby boomers who are not so savvy with tech and new technologies. So understand that, people. XRP will never be a security. The ETF is a security. It just mirrors the underlying asset, which is still not a security. Now, let's talk about expectations of price, because this thing goes live today. So we should expect XRP should be at $10 by tomorrow, right? No, people, no, right? So I want to just give what I feel should be some reasonable expectations. We know that this first one happening is going to be a domino effect for all of the rest of the ETFs. We just got some great news that the government shutdown will be ending pretty soon. We don't know for sure. We're going to see what happens. They've been coming out every day saying, hey, we think this may be the day, right? But if the government shutdown ends tonight, as some are really hoping and are optimistic will happen, then the domino effect for the rest of the ETFs, I mean, it should be boom, 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 right? Now, I believe that the XRP that these hedge funds have in place is already sufficient enough for the first round of ETFs that will be bought up by the market. So the first round of ETFs that will be bought up, they probably already have that XRP in place right now, right? So XRP price won't start to raise from ETF demand until the XRP that they have backed for the securities starts running out, and they have to go back to the market and buy more XRP. That's what is going to happen. Now, whether they get XRP from the market or whether there's still some allotted pieces of escrow and XRP and escrow that could be allotted for some institutions, I don't know. I don't know all of that. All I do know is that I wouldn't expect the initial demand, the cost of price to go anytime soon. Like I'm talking about the first week or two. There's probably going to be a lot of flows, but it's not going to make a significant jump in the price until the institutions got to go out and buy more XRP to support the incoming demand. That's how it works. It's spot. So that's why it's bullish. These institutions now must buy XRP to keep up with the market demand. Right now, I'm sure they have enough to satisfy the market demand. At least right now, it's very early. Day one starts in a few hours, and we just have one approved. There are many other hedge funds to come, right? Then, of course, BlackRock will be in the game at some point. We don't know when. It's totally, not feasible to imagine that they would opt out of this movement here. And when we see these XRP flows coming in and how realistic it is, and then I'm sure they'll get in at some point. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see what happens. Hopefully we get this vote successful for tonight, this evening. And if we do, I think that'll be very interesting. First ETF goes live, right? And then boom, government shutdown is over. They get the rest of these ETFs out. Legislation is right around the corner. ISO 20022 deadline right around the corner. Ripple getting approved to be a bank right around the corner. Legislation finally written and inked for crypto market structure right around the corner. All I've been talking about are global events, people, that culminating when they happen is going to cause XRP to just go to the mountaintops, people. And they're coming together. With these ETFs, this will now be the fourth of the 6 perfect storm world events I've been talking about for a couple years now. This will be the fourth one that is in the books. As these events continue to happen and manifest, so will the utility of XRP. And if you know that's the truth, go on and throw it in the comments. Utility season, baby. It's upon us. This is your boy, Cornelius Jones, 10 Minute Investing. Gonna holler at you guys on the next one. Y'all be blessed and have a good one.